Hey everyone, welcome to the Bruce Williams channel. On my wrist today, let's do a wrist shot. I am wearing the Santos de Cartier in the large size, stainless steel. Absolutely could not be enjoying the watch Honeymoon more, and I'm working on the full review of this piece. Now I've got an email that I want to read. I'm going to give my opinions. I would love for you guys to put your suggestions and your experiences in the comments of this video. And before I read it, I just want to thank you for watching. Really close to 80,000 subs right now. If you're not subscribed, you enjoy the content, I'd really appreciate that support. You know, hit the subscribe button and join me as we review and talk about and agonize over watches together here on YouTube. Okay, so let's go to the email. This one comes from Adrian, who says, "Hello, Bruce. First, I want to thank you. You are my favorite watch channel, and your taste is almost like mine." Well, Adrian, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I have a question for you. I own 2 to 3 cheaper watches, Orient, with an aftermarket bracelet, and my favorite watch, the Seiko SMPC 97J version. And now I'm looking to buy a new watch. And I've saved about $6,000 in the last few months with the goal to buy the Seamaster Professional 300-meter diver. But now I think it's just a little bit too bulky for my taste. So right here, I'm going to pause the email. And Adrian, I got to say, congrats on saving $6,000 and making that jump into the luxury segment. And I relate to you because when I started collecting watches, I collected more affordable watches. And then I made that jump up into the mid-level and then the luxury side of things. And so I get where you're coming from, and it's a very exciting thing. So I'm happy for you. Now, and also I wanted to say this. I relate to you because you're obviously, you're comparing several watches. You seem to almost agonize over what would be the best decision. I do the exact same thing. A ton of my friends do the exact same thing with this hobby. We're all in the same boat. So I totally get where you're coming from, and I'm happy to lend my 2 cents in. Although I will say, at the end of the day, this is your wrist, this is your money, this is your collection, your watch journey. So always go with what you feel like you would enjoy more. Even if I give you a different suggestion, who cares what Bruce Williams thinks? I know you said I'm your favorite watch channel on YouTube, and I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, I'm just some guy with a camera who loves watches. And I'm going to drop in this meme that one of my viewers sent me. Global Watch Memes did a meme of me. And I've got to say, it's pretty much spot on. I thought this was hilarious. Anyways, back to your email. Let's continue here. The Seamaster 300, a bit too bulky for Adrian's taste. So I went to a local authorized dealer and I tried on the Aqua Terra in black and blue and the Seamaster in gray, and now I can't decide. Here's another comment. I've got to interject one more time here, Adrian. I get where you're coming from because, like me, there are so many watches that I enjoy. And when you go to an authorized dealer and you're trying on other pieces, and sometimes there's a watch that jumps out at you that you didn't think you would love, but you adore. And sometimes you have in your mind, like, I got to try that Planet Ocean. And then you put it on, and you're like, maybe it's not my thing. It's fun. But most of us, saving $6,000, that's a big deal. We don't buy luxury watches all that often, so we've got to get this purchase right. So I get where you're coming from. I'm going to give you my opinion. Let's continue here with the email. I can't decide. Now, I've seen the Zenith Defy Classic with the blue dial, which is absolutely beautiful and reminds me of my Grail watch, which is the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. I also really like the Tissot PRX Powermatic 80. Can you tell me something about the quality difference between the Tissot and the Zenith? Yes, I can. I have both reviewed the Zenith, the exact same watch that you're looking at that you think is very beautiful. And I reviewed not the Powermatic 80 version of the PRX, but just the basic quartz version. And I was really impressed with that. I believe I spent $300 on that at the authorized dealer here locally. And I'm not sure that I've bought a better watch for 300 when it comes to the fit and the finish, the quality, the color play. I'll drop in pictures and clips of both of these watches, in addition to that Aqua Terra and the Seamaster, which I've personally owned. I've owned the chrome dial variation, as you may know here, being a regular viewer. So yes, from my experience, there is a definite difference between a Tissot and a Zenith. But this is the problem, and this is why there's so much infighting in the hobby. This hobby is entirely subjective. So in my experience, I go, yes, absolutely, it's worth spending thousands more and getting a luxury watch rather than getting a heck of a watch at thousands less, because to me, I value that small difference to a higher degree than maybe the next individual in this hobby would do. And so that's why sometimes you'll get guys that go, yeah, you know what? I tried an Omega. Didn't like it that much. I like my Seikos. I like my Orients more. And then you'll get other guys that go, you know what? I loved my Seikos and my Orients, but I like Zenith more. And I don't have any regrets in spending more money. That's why you hear so many different opinions. But for me, at the end of the day, you can get a great watch at an affordable price point, just like you can get a stinker and a clunker at the entry-level price point. You can do the exact same thing with luxury watches. You can get a steal of a value deal, which I think the Seamaster is. It's probably the best Swiss diver. I would take it over a Black Bay 58 at around $5,000. You still have a little bit left over after that $6,000 that you've already budgeted, Adrian. So you can get great watches at the luxury segment, and you can get overpriced and overvalued, overhyped watches at that segment. It's also subjective. So yeah, there is going to be a difference. The only question is how much value do you place in those small differences? I don't think I've said this on camera before, but once you get up to $5,000 and you're buying a watch, you're getting great fit and finish. Generally, you're getting an automatic movement that's in-house. They carry some fun tech features, anti-magnetic properties, manufacturing features when it comes to, skeletonized or silicon components of the movement. You're getting some upgrades, definitely. It is a step up. And once you hit 5,000, there really isn't a ton of difference between 5 and 15. There is a difference, but those differences become more minuscule the higher you go, right? I spent $20,000 on an overseas, which is a heck of a watch. This watch is every bit as good when it comes to the fit and the finish outside of the movement, when it comes to accuracy, as that overseas. And this thing retails at $7,000. So, you know what? The differences become really small the higher you go. But I would say between, $700 for that Powermatic 80 and let's say about $5,000 for the Zenith, if you're getting a nice discount, maybe you're getting it on rubber or something. I think the differences in that segment, noticeable. The differences between 5 and 15 kind of comes down to subjective because the differences are pretty small. I'm rambling here. Let's finish up your email. Thanks if you're still here. I appreciate that. And again, in the comments, write what you think Adrian should do. Share your personal experiences because I think we've all been here before. All right, so now back to the email. Adrian, I can't decide between the Omega Aqua Terra, which I think is an all-arounder, but maybe a little bit too plain for me, and the Seamaster 300, very sporty, but maybe a little too bulky, or the Zenith Defy, beautiful. I don't know if this watch is a good start for me in the world of luxury watches, and also I don't like the low weight of the titanium. It might be a little bit too light for me. Or the PRX Powermatic 80. It's more affordable. I almost wear all the time a t-shirt and shorts, and I have an 8-inch wrist. I like my Seiko because of the thinness and the dial. It makes my wrist look a little bit smaller. I will try the Zenith this Friday. So I have tried all except the PRX, and I can't decide either way. Maybe you can give me a few tips. Best regards, Adrian. All right, so we're done with the email. Adrian, let me give you my opinion. Again, you know where I stand. Always make the decision you feel like you would enjoy the most, and don't place too much emphasis on my opinions, although I'm happy to give you my opinions. Okay, I'm going back and I'm looking at your brief descriptions of each watch. It sounds like you love the Aqua Terra, but it just might be a little bit too plain. And in my opinion, the Aqua Terra, it's not plain, it's dressy. It's almost too dressy for a guy like you and me, because I wear shorts and a t-shirt every single day of the week. I'm a very casual guy. And the thing that holds me back personally from the Aqua Terra is the fact those PCLs, they're very shiny, they're very bright, and they will not look good over time. And I wear my watches all the time. I go hiking, I go camping, I exercise with my watches, I play with my kids, I'm a family guy. I do everything in my watches. And so PCL's a little bit too dressy. That conical polished bezel also will show wear and tear pretty well. So for me, that's more of a dressy piece, a dressy sport watch. It is a great all-arounder. I adore the time zone feature, but there's just a couple things that hold back for me, and it sounds like you're similar. Now going to the Seamaster 300, that's the one you were originally looking for and saving up for, but now you feel like it's too bulky. I have 7.25 inch wrists, and if it's going to be different for everybody, but my wrists are smaller than yours, and I think the fit is really good. I don't think it's too big. I don't think it's going to look out of place on your wrist. I think you would really enjoy that watch, and that's the suggestion that I'm going to give you. I'm going to tell you to go with a Seamaster. Either go with the chrome dial like I had, that I really think that one's underrated. I think the best one is probably the one everybody wants, and that's the white dial with the black ceramic bezel. That thing, ooh, that one's good. Looks great casually. If you dress up a little bit, maybe take your spouse out for dinner on a Friday night, whatever it is, I think it's appropriate. I'm going to suggest you go with a Seamaster over the Aqua Terra and over the Zenith and over the Tissot. The Zenith, let me tell you why I don't think you should buy the Zenith. You already are having more worries and concerns about that one being lightweight. You specifically said that it's not the best start with luxury watches. I would say Omega is a great start in the world of luxury watches, but the big concern is the lightweight nature. And if you are already having reservations and you haven't spent $6,000 on this watch, those reservations will never go away. And maybe for the first, 2 months you're in the honeymoon, you can tell yourself, oh yeah, I was totally wrong. It's the best. I don't mind. I like it more than stainless steel, but that's not going to last. It's going to happen. You're going to go, I wish this was stainless steel. I wish this was a little bit heavier. I wish this had some more weight and substance to it. It is too light. And eventually that watch is going to go on Chrono 24 or Watch Recon. And it might not be the best start. So I'm going to tell you to stay away from the Zenith right now. Maybe in the future, that's a watch to consider. But right now, I'd suggest the Seamaster. And then the last one, the Tissot, the Powermatic 80. That's a great way to get a nice watch while saving money. And visually, it's going to look very, very similar to your Grail, the Royal Oak. Maybe too similar. Because I've often said in videos, maybe you remember this, Adrian, but there is no real substitute for the watch you really want. And spending 30 grand, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. For me, I'm talking about myself. I don't know if I want to do that anymore. I've spent 20. I think I've got my fill of spending stupid amounts of money on watches. Maybe for you, you never want to buy a Royal Oak, or you never have the opportunity to. And so it's kind of fun to play around like with an Acon from Maurice Lacroix or the Tissot, right? The PRX Powermatic 80, but it's never going to scratch the itch. So go with a different watch that's not an imitation or a substitute for another watch, that it's its own thing. And I think with the Seamaster, that's its own thing. It's not trying to be a Rolex. It's not trying to be anything else. It's not paying homage to anything else. So for that reason, that's what I would suggest. And maybe I'm just a little bit of a watch snob. I know I really am. I appreciate affordable watches. I've spent a lot of time and a lot of money in the affordable side of things. But you know what? If you've already saved $6,000, don't save more money, right? Don't save that $5,000 and buy a $1,000 watch. Spend most of that money that you've worked hard to save up for, and maybe go with that Omega. I'll leave you with one last thing, Adrian, and that is, if you're like me, and it sounds like you're a lot like me, I want to try them all. So the question is, what are you going to prioritize? Maybe right now you're just going to buy this one nice watch or call it good, A year from now, you'll go, you know what? I am ready for that more dressy watch. Or maybe I can do titanium. Or maybe if I went with the ceramic version of the Defy, maybe I could do that one, right? So what I'm saying is right now you're going to start with one, but down the road, I could definitely see you trying the other ones out and just enjoying this hobby, because that's kind of what I've done. I know that's what a lot of watch enthusiasts do. It's all about doing it responsibly when it comes to finance, making the right decision, doing your homework, which it sounds like this is what you're doing. You're asking for my opinion. You're going to authorized dealers. And guys, in the comment section, please put your experiences, your suggestions. Maybe you own an Aqua Terra. Tell Adrian what you love about it or what you don't love about it. Maybe you went with a Zenith. Maybe you were concerned about titanium, but then, it was okay. Or maybe you flipped it. I want to hear your experiences. I want to hear your suggestions. And Adrian, I hope you have a good time reading through the comments here in this video, and that you get some good stuff. So thanks for emailing. Thanks for reaching out. I might try to do more of these emails, answer an email in a video. I get a lot of mail. I try to respond to everybody. Doesn't always happen in a timely manner. It might take 2-3 weeks. I have a hard time keeping up, but thank you for emailing, but we'll try to do this more often. I like these types of videos. So thanks guys for watching. And again, looking forward to reading the comments. And Adrian, keep me posted on what you end up doing. I'm interested. So thanks for watching today, and I'll see you guys in the next one.